Hello and welcome to the Nasty Talks. Today we are talking with Bella about communication and overthinking in relationships. So without further ado, let's dive in. Welcome to the Nasty Talks.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, me too. Okay, let's get started. I want to hear a little bit about yourself. Who is Bella?
Okay, well, I'm a really extrovert person. I talk a lot. I love to socialize, party, I guess. I'm from Spain. So yeah, I think it's kind of in my veins that I like to party, and I study a lot anyway. That's kind of a little bit of me. I like to eat the world, as we say in Spain.
Ooh. Okay, so you're full of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you study?
I study industrial engineering.
Okay.
So yeah, kind of hard, but I like it anyway.
Okay, and you've started your education here in Denmark.
I finished my master thesis in February. So yeah, I started working this week as an engineer, my first job. So I'm really excited. And but I studied in Spain though.
Okay, that's really nice. And how old are you?
I'm 26. I turned
26.
I turned 26 last week.
Okay,
so that was
exciting.
Happy
birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm getting old.
26 is nothing.
Oh my god, it's closer to 30 though.
Yeah,
than the 20s.
There's still 4 good years until then.
True. That's true.
Yeah, I would say don't worry.
I won't know.
But what about sex?
Okay. So sex has been a little weird for me because I come from a family where you don't talk about it too much. But I think it's really interesting because over the years, I haven't had that much sex education. And I think that my friends haven't either. We haven't learned anything at school, which I think is crucial. And the things that we'll learn is just talking to people and hearing stories. And I guess, I've learned about talking with my friends. But in the sex life, I've always been a person that if I have sex, it has to be with somebody that I really like or I have a relationship with or that I'm meeting and liking. I'm not I don't feel comfortable with first one night stands.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of that girl.
Yeah, well, I think there's a lot of women in general that don't feel comfortable having sex with a guy that they don't necessarily have a connection with.
True,
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah.
Completely.
And I think that's very much relevant. Why would you, start having sex with somebody that you don't know anything about?
That's true.
It's so scary in a way to do
I know, because you don't know anything about him.
No, he could, I don't know, abduct you or whatever. Yeah. There's so many things that can happen.
That's true. But actually, some girls feel comfortable in that, and I guess it matters what you're comfortable with, right? Or it doesn't. There's always some people that are like, oh yeah, you have to have sex. You have to wait until the 4th day or the 5th day. But I guess it's just how comfortable you feel and in what point you are, I guess. I don't know.
It depends on how much you get to know the person, right? Also.
That's true. That's true completely.
Because some people talk a lot on the 1st and 2nd date and so on, and then that's actually fine. But then if you don't, then obviously it's maybe better to wait until the 3rd, 4th, 5th date to get to know exactly who this person is. Yeah.
Or there are stories about girls or guys, of course, that they have sexual tension through months, but they don't really know each other, and then they have sex, and then after that they're like, wait, we don't actually know each other in a personal level,
Yeah, that is true.
There's stories for everyone.
Yeah, and that can also work in some way, but most of the times I think you need to know the person before you actually have sex in order to create some kind of chemistry there.
That's true. Yeah, you have a point. It's harder to make a emotional connection if you don't know them at all.
Yeah.
So you're completely right.
Yeah. But how about your background in what it comes to sex?
Well, as many people, I think, for example, my first time was horrible. Completely disaster. Bad story. But I think over the years I've learned many things. I've learned how to be a little bit more confident. I've learned how to talk about sex with the person who I'm having sex with, hey, I like this, or hey, I don't like this.
Well, that is also hard when you don't feel comfortable with someone, when you just met somebody, you don't really want to get into that discussion, right?
Yeah, completely. Yeah. Because you don't know at what point they feel also comfortable about it, and you don't want to screw it up or something. But I think sex is so much better when you actually have the emotional connection and afterwards talk about your your feelings and like what you like and what you dislike, so you make it better in a way because the other person knows what you like and you know what the other person likes. So I think it's so much fun.
Yeah, because you don't just assume that they like that.
That's
and
true.
Then maybe they actually don't like it at all.
Completely. And it's so awkward, and they tell you like, hey, I don't really like this, and you're like, oh my god, that's horrible.
Now what do I do now? Like if they don't like this, oh my god. And then you get in your head and you overthink things, and it's
I know,
just so much better to just communicate from the first place. And it's really hard in the beginning, I think, but then when you learn that by not communicating things go wrong, then you start to understand that if you communicate and things go wrong, at least you've done something towards making it better.
That's true. But also communicating, it depends on the confidence that you have. Because you remember when you were 18 or something and you were scared of like saying something wrong, or he's not gonna like this, I shouldn't say this. But I think that's how you learn communicating. And if as you said before, if it goes wrong, at least you tried, right? Because I think communicating is key. If he doesn't like it,
then at least you know that it's not the person for you. Because like if you feel like communicating and then the other person doesn't really want to hear you, then you have your answer. That's not your person.
Yeah. That's completely true. So the less time you waste on that.
And what about relationships?
Well, I haven't been really lucky in relationships. I've had 2 boyfriends.
Yeah.
I'm dating one right now. My boyfriend. But I've been the girl who has like a lot of funny stories for first dates. But I'm not the kind of girl, like if I don't really like somebody, I'm not going to date him or keep on dating him just to date somebody. You know, those people are like, oh, whatever, I don't really like him, but I'll just spend time with them.
Yeah.
I have to, if I date somebody, I really have to like them. So I guess that's me.
I get it, but that's also a very healthy way of putting it, because why be with somebody and not really be fully happy in
That's true.
when you could be happy on your own, working on your own, and then the right person will come.
Completely. That's true, because actually, when you work with yourself, you attract the person that is right for you.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So you've had 2 relationships, basically, and one was how many years ago?
1 year.
1 year.
Yeah, more or less 1 year. And I started dating my actual boyfriend last December.
Last December.
So it was actually not a long time ago.
Okay, that's pretty cool. So you started having relationships a bit later in life. So you didn't really...
Yes.
You didn't really have relationships when you were a teenager or...
No, not really. But
at the beginning in your 20s.
Yeah, that's true. But I think that's not a bad part of the world, because I enjoyed my 20s and I had a lot of fun and I went to parties, and I don't remember my 20s like, oh my god, I was dating this guy for 5 years and I grew up with him and then that went all wrong, and then when I look back, it's all his memories with him.
So how do you remember your 20s, basically? What did you do there?
Okay, so I had a lot of dates. But I didn't want to start a relationship if I didn't really like somebody, because I knew if I would regret it at the end if I start dating, and then 3 years after, all my memories will just be of that person that I didn't really like. So I just learned to know myself, learn to know what I like, have a lot of hobbies. I studied a lot. So that was I was in the books all the time. But I guess I didn't have a rush in having a relationship at all. So it was just enjoying that part of life.
That is really good. I think that's a really healthy approach to sex life.
That's true. Yeah. Some people have rush, like, oh my god, I feel so uncomfortable. But then you just have to take it your time.
I mean, I had a guy on the podcast the other weeks, and he started his sex life at 7 years old.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine?
How is it possible?
He found out about sex at around 4 years old when he found a tape that his dad had at home with porn.
No way.
Yeah. And then he has been thinking about it ever since. And then he had a babysitter. She was 12 years old. And then they didn't really had sex, but they were touching each other and playing
playing around. Oh my god.
So he basically started his sex life at 12 years, like
That's
at 7
insane.
years old. Yeah.
Because, for example, I had my first kiss at 15. And I was like, oh my God, my first kiss. And I was like, oh my God. But no, I think that, wow. That's what I'm telling you. Like, so I, for example, didn't learn anything about sex education at school. Well, the basics, like, yeah, this is a baby, and then you should use a condom. But we didn't learn anything about sex diseases, or like, you should get tested here, or I don't know, for example, birth control.
You didn't learn about that?
Anything. Like,
no, okay.
There was a complete world that I have to talk to my doctor about, and I was like, oh my God, this is insane. And I talked to my friends about it, but that's something that you learn over the years, I guess. But yeah, I think my sex life was later.
Yeah. Maybe it would have been nice for classmates of yours that started sex earlier to know about all those stuff.
That's true. It was really useful, actually, to have those stories, because I learned from their mistakes and their perspectives and their first times. And I was like, okay, this is how it goes, or this, I shouldn't do this, and blah, blah. Mm-hmm. So I actually benefit a lot from my friends having their first times before than me.
Oh, nice.
Because I learned their stories and I was like, okay, this is how it goes, or something. I don't know.
That's really cool. But haven't you had the thought that maybe, oh, well, all my friends have already had sex? Wasn't that kind of like a moment for you to think, should I also start having sex because my friends had sex?
Actually, no, because their stories was like really rushing into it.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, why you rush it? You don't have anything, like, there's not a deadline, or you don't have to rush it. So I just like heard their stories, laughed with them, and I was like, when my time will come, I'll know, and I don't have to rush it, because when you put more pressure in it, the first time and the second time will be more like, you will have a backpack in your, like, with you, and you'll be like, I have to do it because everyone else is doing it, and you're not going to enjoy it. So that's not part of it. So I don't know. I thought that when it comes, it'll come, and I'll know.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, anyways, it's not good the first time. Whatever you do,
it's true.
It's not good.
That's true. You have a point.
But what about your fantasies? Do you have any fantasies or kinks when it comes to sex?
I guess, I don't know. I always thought that in the beach would be great, but then I thought, oh my God, there's sand, and then that's gonna be too uncomfortable. And then I had this fantasy in the water, but then I was,
but then water doesn't really work.
Yeah, and I said it in a bar, and one of my friends was like, "Dude, I've tried it. It's so uncomfortable." So fantasy gone away like this. I was like, okay, never mind. I'm not gonna say anything. But no, not really. Like, I love the kisses in the neck. Mm-hmm. Love them. Like, that's my weak point completely. But I don't have any movie fantasies or situation fantasies, I guess.
Okay. What about public sex? Have you thought about that? Would you like to do it?
I understand the adrenaline, but I'm so damn scared that they will catch me that I'm like, oh my God, no, so uncomfortable. No way. No way. I love the stories, and I'm obsessed with people telling me the stories, like, and I cannot believe them. But when I think about it, like, okay, I can do it here, or I can do, no, it's I think it cuts my my comfort zone. Okay. I know it's out of my comfort zone, and sometimes you should do some things out of your comfort zone, but I think it's too much for me, I guess.
I get it.
Yeah. What about you? Have you done it in a public place?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did. In bars.
In the bathroom?
Yeah.
But the bathrooms of the bars are so disgusting.
Yes, but when you're so drunk, it doesn't really matter anymore. And I've done it in parks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was night, so
there was
nobody there anyways.
Okay.
So it was, and nobody would really care at 3 a.m.
That's true. Everyone would be sleeping.
Yeah.
Was it in Denmark?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, nobody's in the park in 3 a.m. in Denmark.
Exactly.
Yeah, completely.
And actually, maybe I've done it in other places, but I don't really remember right now.
You were too drunk.
Yeah, it was too drunk to matter.
Okay, it was not that good to remember.
Yeah, maybe. Most probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but when you talk about sex, do you have anything funny or anything interesting that happened in your life? Or like awkward?
Well, awkward, a lot of things. Because awkward is sometimes when you're having sex and you want to finish, but the guy doesn't, and then you're like, oh my god, kill me now, like I want to stop this. I feel like that's so uncomfortable. Or when the condom breaks, bad thing. But I don't have the crazy story of like this happened, or no, not really. I have funny first date stories and crazy stories, but not about my sex life.
Okay, then tell me about your dates.
Well, this one was actually with my boyfriend, and it was one of the beginnings of the dates. One of the first weeks of me being in Denmark, I fell out of a bike and I broke my teeth.
Oh no, I did the same. I also broke my teeth. Yes.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So it was not that big. It just like was the corner of my teeth, and they put it on and it was fine. And then my uncle, who's a dentist, told me, you cannot bite anymore like an apple. Like you cannot do that ever again.
Really?
Because then your teeth will fall down again.
Oh.
Mine is fine.
Yeah, and I've been biting so many apples.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Well, I think I didn't take care of it, and then I was eating a pizza with and I actually told my boyfriend this story, and he was like, "Okay, whatever." And then we went to eat pizza, and in a bite, I felt the corner of my tooth fell off.
Oh,
and
no.
I couldn't open my mouth, and I was like, oh my god, you're not, do you remember what I told you? And he was like, yeah, about your teeth. And then he thought that when I was gonna put my hand away, I was gonna be without a tooth. And then he was like, oh my god, this is so embarrassing. And this was like the first few dates, and I'm like, oh my god, this is one of our first dates, I guess.
Yeah.
And I don't have a tooth, which was completely exaggerated, but I just have
like a tiny,
tiny. But he actually thought that I didn't have a tooth at all, so that was so embarrassing.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I guess I actually had another first date stories.
Okay.
Which, tell me if I'm crazy, but so we went on a first date. And he invited me for a drink, and then he asked me, what do you want? And I said, a mojito. So he went to the bar. He came back, and we had a lot of fun. And then when it was time to go, I said, oh, we have to pay for the drinks. And then he said, oh, no worries. I already paid for them. So I'm always the girl, well, the person who thinks I like 50-50, right? Teamwork.
Yeah.
But if you invited me for the first date, I think that's really nice. And I will say, I'll invite you for drinks in the second date. And I always do that. But then, so he said, I already paid. And then I said, oh, how much do I owe you? Parentheses, I said this as a joke, right? Like,
oh, okay.
Well, because he already paid. I was like, how much I owe you? I swear he was going to say, don't worry, you'll get the next round.
Yeah.
As always, right? And I was actually going to say, oh, then thanks. I'll get the next beers if we have another date. And then he said 7.80, like 7.80 euros. And then I started taking my wallet out, and then he didn't stop me. And I paid him.
Oh my god.
I know. And I paid him. And then the worst part is that he received the money. And then afterwards, he said, I just don't believe in inviting people.
Okay.
Like, I don't like inviting people. So I was like, oh my god. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like what the... Okay. From my point of view, like, I think it is nice for the first date if the guy pays. But of course, I also ask. So if they are, like paying for the stuff and all that, and I'm like, how much do I owe you? Like, how much should I give you? Because I want to seem like I don't want him to pay for me, like I can do it myself. But then if he insists, then I'm like, okay, it's fine.
Completely.
But the fact that, he was kind of like, like I don't like when people do that. But then why do you say how much it was?
I know.
If you didn't want it,
I know. Like, and then okay, fine, receive the money, but don't say it. But I'm like, for example, with my boyfriend, I'm 100% team, like, you pay once, I'll pay the other one. If we go to the movies, if you buy the tickets, I'll pay the popcorn, all the candy. So I'm always like 50-50, which actually some people in the restaurants are like shocked when I sometimes pay and they see like my boyfriend not paying, and they're like, oh my god. But I guess I was shocked with that story. And I actually told my friend who was his best friend, and he was also shocked. So I don't know. Yeah, that was an awkward moment.
Yeah, maybe he didn't really realize that you were joking about the fact like, oh, what do I owe you?
know.
So he took it probably seriously, which that's another indicator. Like, do you want to date a guy that takes you seriously and doesn't realize when you're, sarcastic or it's a joke?
That's true.
So,
that's true.
Yeah.
Didn't like it. Didn't go well. It was the last date.
The first and the last.
Yeah, completely. That was it.
Yeah. So it's good that you actually give him the money. So you were 50-50. It was all gone. Bye-bye.
Completely. I don't owe you anything, so...
But yeah, things like that happen, I guess. It's just annoying when it does because, maybe the guy was really nice. And then one small thing like that,
That's true.
And then kind of ruins the whole...
That's your perspective and the thing that you liked about him, I guess.
Yeah. Exactly. What is the thing that you like the most when it comes to sex? What are you looking forward to when you think about sex?
Oof. I think the cuddles at the end.
The cuddles?
Yeah. The kisses. I love the kisses. Oh my God. The kisses melt me. The kisses melt me completely. The kisses on the neck, French kiss, and the cuddles at the end are magical. Like I think, it's so nice.
I agree with you. I also like the cuddles. Yeah. It's one of the best things. I don't know why. Like it's sex. Yeah, it's good. You know, like all that and the connection and the intimacy and all that. But then at the end, and you get to lie there and you feel so good.
That's true.
Then, he's maybe touching you in a way. He's like tingling or like giving you a bit of a massage, scratch or whatever. It's just like,
the most comfortable thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I also like? When after sex and then, okay, you cuddle, you sleep, and then you wake up and do something with him. Like, let's go for breakfast or something. It's just not like, I'll wake up and you go do this, and then I'll go do that,
Yeah, like breakfast or a walk or something, like something together.
Yeah, completely, because it makes it more than sex.
Yeah.
So it was sex, but we're still together, so that's really cool. So we'll do something, I don't know, I think. I think that's the best part. That you don't have to like wake up at 6 a.m. and then leave or something.
Yeah.
But
it depends on what you want also, because if it's just like a one night stand kind of thing, then you do want to leave.
Completely. That's true. Being me, I just like to be with that person. So I just don't really like having sex and then just leaving. I like a little bit more, more intimacy, like you said, the cuddles and I guess
I get you. But how do you express your sexuality when it comes to your everyday life and when you want to maybe attract a man or something like that?
So I've always used I think my eyes.
Yeah.
I have a really easy facial expression. So I've always been really flirting with my eyes and with I guess touchy, like I touch the hand here and like I give you a scratch here, or well, it depends. If it's a bar, I always do the eye thing, like the look, right?
The look, yeah. I am interested.
And then you give him another look and then he'll come and you're like, I got you.
Yeah.
But I'm really the touchy girl that just like gives you a scratch. I guess that's my way of showing affection, showing my sexual side. What is your sexual, like how to express your sexuality? I've never heard that question before, actually.
Okay. For me, it's kind of the same. It's the look, is the way you look at the person. The way you talk, kind of your voice, the way you make your voice sound also. And the way I move my body, I seem very open with my body. I just kind of like, I don't have my arms around I don't put them around me, so I don't seem closed. And I use my hands a lot to explain stuff, and then I seem open. So it's not necessarily sexuality in that sense. I just seem interested when I talk. And then the way I place my body, maybe I just try to be a bit more sensual in how I put my legs or whatever, and my chest or
more like open to the guy and more like sensual in a way.
And then also what I say, I try to be more maybe flirty, feminine, more like like a girl kind of be more.
You're so funny.
Yeah, exactly. Also kind of try to be relaxed and laugh, even though he didn't really say anything like super funny. I'm just like, yeah, no.
You're completely right. You're so handsome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know what you mean completely.
Yeah, so stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's nice. Actually, everyone has their social, like, or their tricks for sexual attention or
that is true.
Flirting or...
For next time, I think I'll pay attention to what I really do. Because I know I do these things, but I'm aware of these things. But then I have to catch myself doing some other things that I don't know that I'm doing.
Okay.
But I am.
Yeah. Take notes. Take notes.
Yeah, take notes.
Bring the notebook to the bar and be like, okay, next time... Next step, should I?
Yeah, and then I seem like I'm writing something, and then he's gonna think that I'm writing stuff about him.
That's a good point of conversation. And then he's gonna say, like, what are you writing? And then you're like, okay, well, I'm writing how to attract you or something.
Oh my god, he's gonna think it's weird.
Completely. But then you have a conversation with him, so you never know.
Yeah, it's possible. Okay, but when it comes to relationships, what is a healthy habit that you maybe have thought about that has helped you in your relationships or maybe in your sex life? Like something that you discovered throughout the years?
Well, during my relationships, I've learned that I shouldn't think too much. The less you think about something, the less importance you're giving it, right? Because sometimes we are like, oh my god, I said this, I shouldn't have done this or whatever, but that person hasn't showed you that he doesn't like it or he was upset about something that you said. So I think the less importance you give to something that you did or something that you said, the less importance it's gonna have. And then you stop overthinking a little bit, because every single time when I was younger, I overthought about everything. And oh my god, I didn't text him. Oh my god, I did text him. I said this at 6 and he replied at 8. And then I said, oh my god, then he said this. And then I start not enjoying dating and not enjoying like my part of my dating life and my part of like having fun, and being young. But of course you learn that on the long way. So I think not overthinking about everything, that would be one thing that I've learned, and it makes me more calm now that I'm like, okay, you know what, if I screwed up, okay, fine, but I'm not gonna be so hard on myself every time,
Yeah, because it makes sense. If you are focusing on something too much, you are stressing about that thing. True. And then you become less confident in yourself. You're gonna think like, oh, what if what I said there is not really the best thing, and maybe what I say in general is not really something good. Maybe what if he doesn't like me for what I said or for something that I did? And you keep on piling up on that overthinking train, and then you go and go and go further away from him, basically, because it's all about you, but you make it about him.
And then your self-esteem just drops. And you're like, and then you stop liking that person because he doesn't make you feel good.
Yeah.
Because you're doubting yourself, but at the end you have to like be confident and be like, if I screwed up and he doesn't like me, this is me. Of course, not like a big screw up like that you have to apologize, but if you're thinking about every little detail that you're telling him, doesn't gonna work.
And if you are really overthinking about that detail that you said and you cannot get it out of your head, then just say it.
Yeah.
Say it to him. Make a joke about it. I don't know, something. And then if he really feels that what you said was, not okay, he's gonna say it to you. He's gonna tell you, that wasn't really something that I would have said, or it bothered me a bit, or it was uncomfortable in this sense. So if have something that it bothers them, if you raise the subject, then they're gonna say it to you.
That's true.
So if you overthink things, the only way of getting out of that overthinking is to address it. In some way.
And then he's gonna be like, oh, it doesn't matter, I neuld never thought it. Like, for example, my boyfriend overthinks so much, but because he's so sweet and he's like, oh, shouldn't have said this, should have I done this or whatever, but this is stuff that I haven't even thought. So sometimes you're overthinking things that the other person is not even
realizing,
thinking about it. But actually it's better, as you said, to communicate and be like, shit, should I have done this? Or, oh my god, I'm so sorry I said this. And then you're like, oh, whatever, it was super stupid.
But that is good that you have realized that, you know, in your dating, and then you're not doing it anymore, because that can really get you in a very unhealthy point when it comes to relationships, and it can really make you doubt yourself and make relationships toxic.
Completely. And harder. And then you're not gonna like that part of yourself, and you're not even gonna like that guy because it makes you feel that way. You know? So
when he actually didn't do anything.
I know. I know, it's all in your head. Sometimes there are more worries in your head than there actually in real life. So why would you make life harder than it already is? Just chill, you know?
Yeah. But I guess that's what we do, you know. Completely. When things go well, something bad has to happen.
I know. Most you're aware. You're like, oh my God, what's going to happen?
Yeah. And then because nothing bad happens, then it's kind of like we subconsciously create problems. That's true. We're like, okay, something bad has to happen.
That's true.
There was nothing bad in so long. Something has to happen.
And then something happens and you're like, see? Because you were attracting it.
Yeah, you were thinking about it. So you were projecting it right there.
Yeah, that's true. You have a point.
Okay, so knowing what you know now about dating and relationships and everything, what would be the one thing that you would say to a younger you? Like an advice.
Well, I would say notice the red flags before, right?
It's easier said than done.
I know, because there are always girls or young, older people that tell you their red flags and what is a red flag, but you don't want to see it.
No.
Right?
Or you see it and you think like, that's nothing.
I know. That's not gonna happen to me.
No, yeah.
You know?
Or it's not really that important. I don't think it's gonna have any bad effect about this relationship or this dating or whatever. That's true. Then it's the exact thing that breaks it.
I know. Yeah. But I think you've learned with broken hearts, and you've learned with dating somebody and it doesn't work, and now you know why it didn't work and why you have to put your standards high and put your values where they are. So I think even if I say, Bella, like 5 years ago, notice the red flags, this guy is not right for you, or check this out, I don't think it would believe me, because I would be like, no, that's not going to happen. You'll see it work out. But after a broken heart, you actually learn the lesson, right?
Yeah, because you experienced real pain. You haven't just heard about it from somebody that had an experience, and then you're going to think, yeah, but my experience is going to be different.
I know, completely. Yeah. Wait, have you a broken heart?
Oh, yes. Many times. Many times.
Because some people haven't, actually. They are like, okay, yeah, I broke up with somebody, but I was not dating that much. But yeah, some people haven't had that. Oh my God. Like your soul, like in your chest hurts. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
That's so painful, I guess.
It is. It really can be.
Painful.
Yeah, very painful. But anyways, we move on from broken hearts, and we move on from relationships that don't really serve us. So,
that's
you know, we learn in life, and that's what's important. And then we have a lot more knowledge to take with us into the next relationship and into the next adventure.
And then we learn that everything at the end will be okay. Yeah. Like, it's hard, it sucks, and it's going to suck in the future. But you learn from everything.
Yeah. And you grow.
It's true.
You learn and you grow. Yeah.
Everything, every relationship, you learn about something. Even if it's bad, you learn about what you shouldn't expect from the other person, or what you should expect from the next person, right?
And I think the most important thing is that you learn about yourself, basically, and what you want in a relationship, and what flaws you have in a relationship, and what you can work on.
That's true.
Right? So then you learn about what your needs are and what you need for those needs to be fulfilled. So then you start looking for the person that can fulfill those needs, rather than rather than just searching for somebody that, I don't know, looks good or has like a really good job or whatever, you know, materialistic stuff. You start looking more within of where and what do I need in order to have a happy relationship, and in order for me to be happy.
That's true.
And how can I grow in order to attract this kind of person that I would need. Because sometimes we have some kind of expectations of people that they should be in a certain way, but we are not like that. And then obviously we get into a relationship where that person gives us what we need, but we don't give them what they need. And that's why it doesn't work. I think we need to pay a lot of attention to us and to what we want, and then make sure that we become the person that we want to attract.
That's true, completely. Because it's better, or it's important to be happy first, and then just expecting happiness from other person, right? Because you're like, okay, I want this guy to be this and this and this in order for me to be happy. But then if that guy disappoints you, you get more sad and more sad every time, and then you're not happy if that doesn't work out, because you cannot put your purpose or your happiness in somebody else's points. You have to be happy and then share that happiness with somebody else. But I completely understand that there has to be like a click. Like, you have your needs, I have my needs, and we have to be a team together, and we have to give each other what we need in order to make this relationship work and make this relationship a happy relationship, I guess.
I mean, that would be the ideal, because I think when we go into a relationship, we should both parties should be ready for love and not expecting to receive love from the other person, just expecting to love each other in a way that adds up. If I can say it like so we are both giving the same energy into that relationship. And a lot of relationships don't work out at some point because some people kind of lose themselves in the relationship.
That's true.
And that happens a lot of times. And it's very hard to kind of avoid it. Because we start caring more for that person. And then we care a lot about what they think about us, what they do for us, the fact that they, I don't know, make breakfast for us every morning. And then one morning they don't. And then we feel low on energy. We feel like we're sad. And we know that we shouldn't put our happiness into somebody. We shouldn't expect something from somebody, but we end up doing it anyways, and there's nothing wrong with that.
That's true.
It's just about communicating with the other person and telling them, okay, like, you know, you've been doing this for so long and now you stopped and now I got sad. I just want you to know that I got sad because of that, and I understand that you maybe cannot do it all the time, but you know, I just wanted to tell you that this made me sad. So if I act in a weird way because my expectations weren't met, you know that it's because of that. So it's not about expecting somebody and assuming that that person is going to do something. It's just about talking with that person about our expectations and how our expectations makes us feel. Because then that person knows if you are grumpy in that day, they know why you are grumpy.
Yeah, completely.
They are not going to think, oh, she got crazy again. I don't know what's going on. She does that sometimes. It annoys me.
It's Monday,
you know?
again. Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
But actually, communication, I think, as you said, is key. For example, my boyfriend and I, every single time we don't hold our sadness or like our madness long time, but we have a really healthy way of saying, like, you know what, I didn't like what you did today, but not yelling like, you did this and I did that and you stupid, blah, 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 you know?
Yeah.
It's just, we have a really mature way of sitting down and be like, you know, you shouldn't have said this, or it hurt me when you said that. And then it's really mature to be like, you know what, you're completely right. I'm sorry. I screwed up. I fucked up. Next time it's not going to happen again. But it also requires for the person to be okay with being wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Because some people are like, no, I didn't say that. I didn't screw it up. It's okay to understand that sometimes people make mistakes, and it's more mature and more intelligent, like emotional intelligence, to understand where you were wrong, apologize, and be like, you know what, next time it's not going to happen. I'll try to do my best. And that's actually key for a good relationship.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Understanding, maybe putting yourself out of yourself, putting yourself into the other person's perception, and try to understand how they felt also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because maybe if that had done that, if that was vice versa, that would have hurt you.
Yeah.
But if sometimes you're like, no, he shouldn't have overthink that. But then if the roles were reversed, you'd be like, oh my God, I would feel so bad if that was me right now, you know?
Yeah. So it's just about understanding, I think, the other person.
Actually, sometimes I forget because when I said, yeah, my boyfriend and I have like a really good relationship talking, but then sometimes something happens and then I'm really grumpy and because something happened in my life and I don't want to talk to anyone.
Yeah.
But I forget or I don't want to tell my boyfriend, this happens and I just don't want to tell anyone. I just don't want to talk to anyone. And then my boyfriend gets worried about me because I don't communicate what's happening. So he doesn't know if it was my fault or if it was his fault or if something happened with my family or like my work or because he's worried that I'm grumpy, but I'm not telling him.
Well, I think in that sense, it's just easier to tell him, okay, like there's this situation that I'm dealing with right now, and it's not about you. And I just feel it because there's something that happened that I cannot really talk about it right now, but maybe I'll tell you later. But just so you know, it's not about you. It's just, I'm just not in a good mood. And if you want to hang out with me right now, it's okay. But just so you know, I cannot give my best.
True. That's true. Yeah,
and just being honest about what you can offer in the moment rather than, just being silent and then making the other person worry and think that it's maybe them who did something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's key to communicate. Yeah, completely.
Yeah. And it's okay if you don't feel like talking, about the situation. Just maybe let them know, hey, there's something right now that is making me sad or mad or whatever.
And I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
But at least they know it's not about them.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you feel it's about something that you said or because if my boyfriend stops talking to me, I'm like, oh my God, I screwed up.
Yeah, what did I do? What happened?
I know. Oh my God, it's Monday again. No, but yeah, I think it's key to communicate. Well, communication is key, sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But it is, and you're right. Thank you a lot for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was really nice to talk with you about relationships and communication and overreacting or overthinking about things. It's a really cool topic, and I think a lot of people will have a lot to learn from this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Really, I'm really happy to be here and talk to you about it. I was really excited actually because there's a lot of topics that people don't know or don't want to talk about it or just like don't feel comfortable, but you learn along the way.
Yeah. And this is what we're doing here. We're just putting information out there for people to understand that it is okay to feel the way you feel and it is okay to think the way you think.
Yeah.
And just because you don't have people around you that talk about these kind of things, that doesn't mean that people are not doing them or people are not thinking about them. So it's just about normalizing these kind of feelings and thoughts that we have.
Because sometimes people have or heartbreaks that they don't show. Yeah. And you're like, oh, I'm the only one heartbroken. But it's not true.
No.
It's just people don't talk about it. So I think communication with everyone and know that you're not alone.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that is it for today. And thank you for being here. And
thank you.
I'll maybe see you at some point again
on
the podcast. Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe to our channel to not miss any of our future episodes. And until next time, take care and stay nasty.